Hi, welcome back to the Confab. I am Jen, and alongside me, the ever curious Jara.
Hey everyone, Zen is right. I am basically curious about almost everything. And to be very clear, we have discussed almost about everything job, people, society, and other aspects of the world. But today, it would be completely different. We are going to discuss something about spirituality and particularly about God. Isn't it a good idea, Zen?
Yes, we must explore spirituality as well.
So, today we are diving deep into the Hanuman Chalisa, focusing on its opening and the first 10 verses or chopais, and we are going to break it down word by word, but with a twist.
That's right. Our goal is to make this ancient, powerful hymn relatable for our modern urban lives, seeing it not just as a prayer but as a blueprint for strength, resilience, and inner wisdom.
Wow, exactly. No jargon, just pure practical insights into what these words mean for you. Right here, right now. Let's start with the opening couplet. What sets the whole stage? This opening is like a mental warm up, a centering practice before you dive into the main workout of the Chalisa. The first line is Shri Guru Charan Saroj Raj Nij Manu Mukuru Sudhari. Do you know the meaning?
Okay, so what's the modern vibe for that, Jara?
The modern vibe is okay, first things first. I'm taking a moment to center myself, clean up my mental mirror, like hitting a reset button, purifying my thoughts.
Okay, I love that. Cleaning your mental mirror. Let's break down those keywords.
Absolutely. For Shri Guru, it's not necessarily a human guru or a teacher, but your inner guide, your conscience, or the universal wisdom you connect with. Think of it as your most authentic, clear self.
And then Charan Saroj Raz, which means the dust of lotus feet.
Symbolically, it's about humility and absorbing wisdom from a pure source. For us, thinking of it as grounding myself in truth or connecting to fundamental principles. It's that feeling of quiet reverence.
And what about the Niz Manu Mukur Sudhari?
It means literally cleansing my mind mirror. This is about getting rid of mental clutter, biases, negative self talk, and distractions. It's all about achieving clarity of thought before you proceed.
Okay, mind clear. Now for the second line of the opening couplet. Barnau Raghubar Vimal Jasu Jo Dayaku Falchari.
Varnau Raghubar Bimal Jasu Jo Dayak Falchari. The modern vibe here is now that my mind is clear, I'm going to reflect on the pure, inspiring qualities of the ideal leader that is Lord Rama, because doing so helps me achieve anything I truly desire in life: success, purpose, joy, inner freedom. So, what are the core words there? Barnau means I describe, means a kind of description, or I recount. It's an act of reflection and articulation. And Raghubar, a name for Lord Rama, but here think of him as the ideal human, embodying justice, courage, and righteousness. He is the ultimate example of integrity and purpose. Then Bimal Jasu, spotless reputation or qualities. This refers to pure, unblemished character, the kind of qualities you truly admire and want to cultivate in yourself. And the big payoff, Jo Dayak Falchari, means who grants the four fruits or goals. Do you have any idea what these four fruits can be?
I don't have any idea.
Okay, these are the four main aims of human life in Hinduism: Dharma, that is righteousness, or you can call it purpose; Artha, prosperity, or means of reaching somewhere basically; Kama, desire or pleasure; Moksha, liberation, or freedom. For a modern person, think of it as holistic success or a truly fulfilled life that balances all aspects.
बुद्धिहीन तनुजानी के सुमिरो पवन कुमार
Means recognizing my own limitations and the fact that I am just a human. I am calling out to you, O son of wind, Hanumana. If we go for word meaning, Buddhihin means devoid of intelligence, lacking wisdom. This is an act of humility and self-awareness, acknowledging one's imperfections or current mental state. Tanu Jani Ke. Knowing this body or self, it's about self-acceptance and not pretending to be more than you are in that moment. Sumiro, I remember, I meditate upon, I call upon. This is the act of invoking or connecting with. Pavan Kumar, son of the wind, a direct address to Hanumana, acknowledging his origin and swift, powerful nature.
Now, बल बुद्धि विद्या देहु मोहि हरहु क्लेश विकार.
Yeah, and modern vibe about that is, please grant me strength, wisdom and true knowledge and take away all my troubles and flaws. Word for word meaning can be bal, physical strength, mental fortitude and resilience to face challenges. Buddhi, intellect, wisdom, good judgment. This is a request for sharpness of mind and the ability to discern right from wrong. Vidya, knowledge, true learning. This isn't just about facts, but about insight and understanding that leads to growth. Dehu Mohi, grant me. A direct request or prayer for these qualities. Harhu means remove, take away, destroy, kalesh, troubles, afflictions, sorrows. This encompasses mental, emotional, or physical distress, vikar, flaws, vices, imperfections, defects. This is about overcoming negative habits, character flaws, or destructive patterns.
So we have set our intentions and cleared our minds. Now we are officially introducing Lord Hanuman. Let's jump into the first chupai.
Jai Hanuman Gyan Gun Sagar, Jai Kapis Tihu Lok Ujagar. The modern vibe for this is, Hey Hanuman, you are like an ocean of knowledge and good qualities. You are the leader of the wise, illuminating all realms, mind, body, and spirit. It's victory to Hanuman. It's an exclamation of admiration and acknowledgement. Gyan Gun Sagar, ocean of knowledge and virtues, because he's the ultimate smart, ethical person, intelligent, someone who knows a lot and acts with integrity. He represents deep wisdom, not just superficial facts. Then Jai Kapis, praise to the Lord of Monkeys, metaphorically, leader of those who are nimble, strong, and brave. He is the chief of intelligent, active beings. Tihu Lok Ujagar, enlightening the three worlds. This implies bringing clarity and insight of all aspects of existence, physical, mental, and spiritual. He dispels darkness and brings understanding.
Now we are moving on to the second chopai, which brings in his incredible strength. Ram Doot Atulit Baldhama Anjani Putra Pavan Sutnama. Now we are moving on to the second chopai, which brings in his incredible strength. Ram Doot Atulit Baldhama Anjani Putra Pavan Sutnama.
Yeah, you know what modern vibe tells about this? You are Rama's ultimate messenger. We are calling Hanumanji Lord Rama's ultimate messenger with incredible, unmatched strength, and it's about calling Hanumanji Anjani's son, known as the son of the wind.
What about Ramdut?
Well, I think it's self-explanatory, Zen. Rama's messenger, Ram Doot. Doot means a messenger, This is about being a dedicated agent of a higher purpose or noble cause. He embodies loyalty and effective execution. And Atulit Baldhama, abode of unmatched strength. He possesses unparalleled power, both physically and mentally. This signifies an unstoppable force when aligned with purpose. Anjane Putra, son of Anjani, his mother representing his earthly origin and connection. Pavan Sutnama, named the son of the wind. This highlights his qualities of speed, agility, and the ability to traverse any obstacle or distance. He represents unlimited potential and freedom of movement. So, he has got wisdom, strength, and purpose. What's next in Chopai 3?
महावीर विक्रम बजरंगी कुमति निवार सुमति के संगी.
The modern vibe for this is you are a great warrior, incredibly courageous, strong like a thunderbolt. You get rid of bad thoughts and bring good sense. Let's try to understand it word by word. Mahavir. Mahavir means great warrior or hero, a person of immense bravery and leadership. Vikram Bajrangi, courageous with a body like thunderbolt or diamond. This signifies indomitable spirit, resilience, and an impenetrable core. He is tough and fearless. And Kumati Nivar. Kumati means evil thoughts. So he is described as remover of evil thoughts, bad intellect. He helps you clear mental fog, negativity, doubts, and harmful thinking patterns. He is the antidote to negative self-talk. And its counterpart, Sumati Ke Sangi, companion of good thoughts, wisdom. He promotes clarity, right thinking, and positive mental habits. He is the ally of good judgment.
Now we are moving on to the Chopai 4, which describes his appearance. Kanchan Baran Viraj Subesa Kanan Kundal Kunchit Kesa. So Jara, please explain.
Yeah, sure. It means you shine with a golden glow, dressed perfectly. You have earrings and curly hair. This describes his physical form, symbolizing his radiance and divine beauty. Breaking it down, Kanchan Baran means golden complexion, symbolizes radiance, purity, and inner glow. He embodies brightness and warmth. Viraj Subesa, well attired, splendid appearance, signifies dignity, composure, and a commanding presence. He looks the part of a respected figure. Kanan Kundal means earrings. Kundal means earrings, symbol of attentive listening, wisdom, and the ability to absorb knowledge. Kunchit Kesa, curly hair, a classic aesthetic detail that adds to his regal and powerful appearance.
Now the last of this section, Chopai 5, continues the physical description but with symbolic items. It goes like Hath Bajr Aru Dhwaja Biraje, Kandhe Moonj Janeu Saje.
In your hands, you hold a mace, symbol of power, and a banner, symbol of victory. Over your shoulder, you wear the sacred thread. This symbolizes his power, victory, and spiritual discipline. Hath Bajra or Dhwaja Biraje. Mace and banner adorn his hands. The Vajra means mace, represents immense power, decisive action, and protection against obstacles. The Dhwaja signifies victory, leadership, and accomplishment. Kandhe Moonj Janeu Saje, sacred thread adorns his shoulder. The Janeu is a symbol of spiritual discipline, intellectual pursuit, purity, and commitment to Dharma. He is both powerful and principled.
So the Chopai 1 to 5 was about Hanumanji's persona. Now we are moving on to the next part where Chopai 6 to 10 will be about Hanumanji's attributes and power. These verses elaborate on his extraordinary qualities leading into his famous feats, starting with Chopai 6. Sankar Suvan Kesari Nandan Tej Pratap Mahajagbandan.
Wow, Do you know some people say that this is Swayam instead of Suvan? Sankar Swayam Kesari Nandan Tej Pratap Mahajagbandan. So in both the cases it conveys the same meaning and we respect everyone's views. So the modern vibe for this one, you are a manifestation of Shiva, son of Kesari. Your aura and might are revered across the entire world. Breaking it down, Sankar Suvan or Sankar Swayam, incarnation or aspect of Shiva. This implies immense spiritual power, transformative energy, and the ability to destroy ignorance and evil. He is not just strong, he is divinely charged. Kesari Nandan, son of Kesari, connects him to his immediate family and lineage. Tej Pratap, radiance and valor. This refers to his commanding presence, charismatic power, and inherent strength. He has an undeniable aura. And Mahajagbandan, greatly revered by the world, he is universally respected and admired for his qualities.
Now Chupai 7, focusing on his intellect and drive. Vidyavan Guni Ati Chatur, Ram Kaj Karibe Ko Atur. So Chara, please explain to our viewers what this Chupai means.
Yeah, this one is my favorite one. And the modern vibe goes like, you are highly learned, virtuous, and extremely clever. You are always eager to do Lord Rama's work. Vidyavan Guni, learned and virtuous. He is not just intelligent, he is knowledgeable across various domains and possesses strong moral character. He is smart and good. Ati Chatur, extremely clever, skillful. He is strategic, resourceful, and highly competent. He knows how to get things done effectively. Finally, Ram Kaj Karibe Ko Atur, eager to do Rama's work. This highlights his unwavering dedication and enthusiasm for his mission. He is always ready to serve a noble purpose without hesitation.
Next up, Chupai 8, showing his core devotion. Prabhu Charitra Sunebe Ko Rasiya, Ram Lakhan Sita Manbasiya.
Yeah, this one is also, you can say, very fascinating. The modern vibe goes like this. You love hearing about the noble deeds of Lord Rama and Lakshman and Sita reside in your heart. Prabhu Charitra Sunibe Ko Rasiya, lover of hearing the Lord's tales, deeds. He genuinely enjoys and is inspired by stories of virtue, justice, and heroism. He learns from great examples. Ram Lakhan Sita Manbasya. Rama, Lakshmana, and Sita dwell in your heart. This means the ideals they represent, truth, purity, devotion, sacrifice, and deeply ingrained in his core being. His actions are aligned with these high values.
Now Chupai 9, which showcases his famous adaptability. Suksham Roop Dhari Sih Hi Dikhawa, Vikat Roop Dhari Lank Jarawa.
You showed Sita your subtle miniature form and then took a massive, formidable form to burn Lanka. This demonstrates his adaptability and power to shift perspective or approach. Suksham Roop Dhari, assumed a subtle tiny form. This highlights his adaptability to be discreet, humble, and gentle when the situation calls for it. It's about knowing when to be low-key. Siya hi dikhawa, showed to Sita. The specific context of reassuring Sita in captivity. Bikat Roop Dhari, assumed a formidable, terrifying form. This showcases his ability to unleash full power, be assertive, and confront evil head-on when necessary. And Lank Jarawa, burnt Lanka, symbolically destroying evil, burning away negativity, ego, and destructive forces. It's all about decisive action against what is wrong.
Very impressive explanation, Jara. And finally, for this episode, Chupai 10, Bhim Roop Dhari Asur Sahare, Ramchandra Ke Kaas Sanware.
Yeah. You took on a gigantic, fearsome form to destroy demons and completed Lord Rama's tasks. This reinforces his role as a protector and executor of divine will. Let's hear about Bhim Roopdhari, assumed a gigantic fierce form, again highlighting his immense imposing power when faced with significant challenges. Asur Sanghari, destroyed demons. This means overcoming inner or outer negativity, destructive influences, and harmful elements. He is a force against chaos. Ramchandra ji ke Kaj Samware accomplished Rama's tasks. He successfully completed the mission, achieved the desired outcome, and executed the noble purpose. He is the ultimate closer.
And there you have it, the initial blueprint of Hanumanji's incredible qualities, from cleansing the mind to mastering adaptability. These first 10 chapais truly lay the foundation for understanding his power. Isn't it, Chara?
Of course, it's a powerful start, right? You can already see how embodying these qualities can totally transform your approach to daily life. Join us next time on Confab as we continue to unpack the Hanuman Chalisa word by word for more insights into unleashing your inner strength. Thank you.